Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Lauren with Laura's Leaves. If you're new here, hey, how are you guys doing? Thanks for stopping in. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey guys, love you. Thanks for coming back. So this is part 2 of my houseplant tour. If you have not already seen part 1, I will link it up above. Go check that one out first because I kind of go in order through my home. This video, part 2, I will be going through my plant room, which is what I'm in now, and then my bedroom, our bathroom where we keep a few plants, and then my daughter's room where I keep a few plants. Stay tuned till the end because I'm going to give you a sneak peek of part 3, which is what I keep downstairs in the basement in my 2 greenhouses. So I have an idea to show off those babies, but I do want to give you guys a little bit of a peek beforehand so you can kind of get a feel for what's ahead in the future. Let's get started. I will flip the camera around and I will take you through the rest of my home. I'm going to start on this shelf here. Up here, I have some propagations that I got from, I guess I would call her a friend of mine now. I met her through Facebook Marketplace. She was the first person who ever purchased plants for me, and she invited me over to her house to take cuttings of whatever. I brought her a Monstera and Sonai, and she let me cut whatever I wanted in her home. And one plant I do not have in my collection is any form of ivy, and she had a beautiful basket of it, and I thought I would try my hand at it. And right now it's propagating. It's got lots of roots starting. Need to add some more water to this one, but they should be ready to be potted up quite soon, and hopefully I can keep the spider mites away. Over here we have a Dischidia Million Hearts. When I first got this, I had it in a bigger pot, and Alex from Beantown Houseplant suggested put it in a smaller pot, and I did, and it has since grown so well. This was part of my epic Hertz fail, but it has come a long way since I purchased it. I really enjoy this plant. Dischidia Million Hearts grows really easily now that I have it in proper soil, in a proper sized pot, and it's doing really well. Up here is some more cuttings from Norma. She's the one who also gave me the ivy, and there are 2 different variety in here. I'm not super into Tradescantia, but this one's super fuzzy, and I thought I would give my hand at it. So hers were growing so big and lush, and I killed them. So this is my new project. Hopefully I think I'm gonna pot these 2 together. I'm kind of getting into that whole mixing plants thing. So yeah, we will see how that goes. I like it. Down over here on my windowsill, which I want to note that this plant room, this is an east-facing window, and this is a south-facing window. So this room gets amazing light throughout the day. I need to figure out something to put over here. Piece of artwork. I don't think I necessarily want to put plants in this corner, but I definitely need some artwork to put in this corner to liven it up. Back to the plants though. Over here we have an Easter lily cactus, which I just discovered, let's see if I can find it, is putting out a little baby. Here it is. You see it in there? So cool. I finally got to see the blooms on this bad boy. The first time it ever bloomed, there were 2 of them, and I missed it. They came up, and I came back into the room the next day, and they were flopped over. The blooms on this are so pretty, but I miss them. But this summer, it gave me another shot and I caught it, and I'm very happy. Here's another type of cactus doing its thing, growing well. This poor guy has been knocked over onto my bed so many times by this fluff monster. You stretching? Are you stretching? He's usually good to my plants, but sometimes he knocks stuff over. And then up here is my black pagoda lipstick plant, my Cananthus. I can't quite remember. But this is known as the black pagoda lipstick plant, and I really like this one. I like the colors. I love the undersides of these leaves. So pretty. And it really seems to like it here in this east facing window. So I am going to keep him here, especially over the winter since our days are getting shorter. It's about 6:30 p.m. and it's dark out, as you can tell. Now you can totally see me in the window. My apologies. I also need to clean these babies. Holy moly. Anyways, I need to do a favorites video because this dogtail cactus is doing its thing. Let me get her down for you. But this plant is everything. And you know, you would think you cannot touch a cacti, or most cacti, but this one you can pet. Yeah, the little spines can get stuck, but they're very soft. And someone tell me, is anyone else's cactus, dogtail cactus, put out aerial roots like this? Do you see that? It is all over this plant. So rad. I could not be happier with this guy. He is definitely one of my favorites. I love how he grows. Super wonky, super abstract and obscure. Love it. Down here is another form of Cananthus. I hope I am saying that properly. This is my curly lipstick plant. This plant and I have been through the ringer together. It is finally looking good. It took a while. It loves it here in this south window. I have found that my lipstick plants truly do like a good amount of light. I wouldn't consider them a good low light house plant. All of the ones I've had really like southern facing light or eastern facing light. So I keep him in here. He seems to like it and I'm rolling with it. Here's one of my OGs, my snake plant that is putting off tons and tons of babies. This one I had outside this summer. Last summer I put one outside and it loathed it. This year it loved it. And it shot off all these runners while outside. So very happy and content with that. Down here is my Ripsalis capilliformis, I think is how it's pronounced. And this is another one I really love. It does fine in low light. It does okay with a little bit more bright light, but just not very direct. And I don't know, it's just delicate. It looks delicate, but I find that it's not so delicate. Does that make sense? But it looks very dainty, very delicate, and I like that aspect of it, but I actually find it to be quite hardy. So very easy Ripsalis capilliformis. I think that is how you say it. This is my string of spades, not looking too hot. I'm wondering if it has spider mites. I don't see any, but it grows really weird for me. I need to cut it back and try to propagate some of this. But one of the harder Ceropegias to grow. I mean, my string of hearts are doing good. The Sandersonii that I was gifted is doing great. This one is kind of riding the struggle bus, but what can you do? If anyone, there's some new growth. Oops, there's some new growth. For the most part, I kind of struggle with it. Here is my Peperomia prostrata. I just got, not that long ago. It's doing all right. I struggle with these. I've tried it before. I've tried growing them before, and I kind of struggle with them. So I'm really hoping this will push through for me because I do like the aesthetic of it. But for a Peperomia, I find it difficult compared to others. So, and 2 baby lithops. This used to be on the windowsill behind me that I just showed you, but Houdini knocked it down. Kind of sad because there's a lot of little babies in there and they kind of fell out, but I think I'm gonna pot these 2 up together. And here is an array of Hoya cuttings. Some Waiatii, some Crimson Queen, and I think there's some Pupa Calyx down in there as well. Now here is where the brunt of the plants are, along with some propagations. Let me try turning off these lights first so you can get a better look at the plants themselves. The lights are off. You can definitely see the foliage a little bit better. So let's begin. I am going to start up here and kind of work my way down. So for propagations, I have a Ficus elastica taniki propagating up there, some golden pothos, along with, I think, some Sabo blue in there, some philodendron bipenifolium, along with some pothos, pearls, and jade. And then a form of asparagus fern, I think, some type of fern. So far, so good. This thing's been liking it in here. This room remains pretty humid. I have my humidifier in here, and even when it's not running, it stays moderately humid, around 50 to 60%. So the fern likes it. And if I move on down, here are some of my prized babies. So right here, we have the philodendron verrucosum. I sensed up the humidity since I showed this in my philodendron tour because this leaf was kind of suffering. But here is its newest leaf, a little bit smaller, yet look at the shine. See that? And the back is gorgeous, along with the hairy petioles. And if I can get in here, we have a new leaf on the way. Here we have some more bipenifolium cuttings. They are very small and mature, but they are propagating, got some roots going on. That's good. Let me move that out of the way. Here is my favorite begonia. This is begonia Old Blue from Steve's Leaves. And I think, oh, don't tell me the blooms all fell off. Did they? Oh, they're down in there. They must have fell off today or yesterday. But I put this out in my greenhouse for the summer, and look how freaking massive these leaves have gotten. I am very happy with it. I'm not a big begonia fan, but I really enjoy this one. Very shiny. I like it. Another new baby for me. And I love it. It's the newest leaf on my Philodendron gloriosum. I got this a couple videos back from Canopy and Plant Co. And so far it is growing fantastic. I'm very, very happy. Look at that. Little shine, some velvetyness, and the spider-like veining. Love it. Also up here is my Syngonium chiapense, which I cut back in the summer right about there. And it is now, this is from my cat. And not Houdini Chopper, so tisk tisk. But here is another leaf popping out. So it's finally starting to push out some new growth since I've chopped and propped it, which is a good sign. I love the matteness of these leaves. Favorite Syngonium, hands down, very easy to take care of. I love this suede-y texture. It's gorgeous. It makes me want to go out and get the Syngonium macrophyllum because they're very, very similar, but still different. Moving down, we have some sad Marble Queen pothos cuttings. I find these harder to propagate than your standard golden pothos, but they are doing okay. Some of them are dying. You're gonna have that. It's not the end of the world. And then back in here is some peperomia. Okay, it's kind of dark, but peperomia ruby cascade that I've had propagating for a while now. A friend of mine started them for me in dirt and in a Tupperware container, and it worked perfectly. So I keep this bag over it to keep it kind of humid so the roots can find their feet, kind of, so to speak. So set this here, and I will put that back on later. We have some Monstera and Soni narrow form propagations, along with, check this out, some big old Monstera conchs, whatever people are calling these nowadays. Having a lot of good luck with these. Sorry. I guess I'll keep them in there. They're kind of being difficult, but doing its thing, growing well. And then back in there, I have my Hoya australis, still acclimating from when I bought it. I kind of, when I get plants, I usually leave them in here to acclimate a little bit. My Pilea peperomoides. Now this was the last remaining piece of my mother plant that was dying. I started this from a little baby start, and it's grown into this. I struggled with this plant for a long time in the beginning, but I think we're finally getting it. Right here, I have a Philodendron Tahiti that is still propagating in sphagnum. I think I could probably move it to soil if I'd like, but I think I might leave it there for the winter. Right here, I have a really nice Monstera sultipacana. I need to give this beauty a bigger pot. I'm debating doing that now or in the spring, but it's kind of growing all over the place. So I think it deserves a bigger pot and a moss pole. And then back here, see if I can get a better view. All my grow light cords are in the way. I have a Calathea rufibarbara, and I'm kind of getting into the Calathea game lately. Don't ask me why. I think I've been influenced. Anyhow, it's fuzzy, so it's one of my favorites. Over here is my lonely Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. I cut it there this summer, and it has finally put out some offshoots right here. And I'm surprised that the leaf it put out is so large compared to, you know, its more mature leaves. So that's kind of cool to see. And I think we got some other auxiliary buds popping up along here too, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm mistaken, but it's looking good. Fast grower, easy plant. Really love this guy. And up, up, up. We have my Cissus discolor. Half of this plant looks amazing. The other half of this plant looks dead. This one's kind of hard to figure out. I think I want to move it down to my greenhouse because this summer I had this out in the greenhouse. It looked crummy. When I put it out there, it put off these huge, gorgeous leaves. Now let me kind of come around here and show you this side of the plant. This isn't looking so hot, and I need some help with it. But this side looks fantastic. Look how big those are. Like, I guess they're not that big, but I mean, they're kind of big. Really pretty. So maybe for the winter, it will go in the greenhouse. What do you guys think? And then lastly in this room, I have some Syngonium podophyllum green variegata, or Aureum variegata, call it what you will. Growing lots of roots down in here. Or a neon philodendron that has some awesome variegation that I cut off from the mother plant. And ooh, that doesn't look good. And a butterfly Syngonium. Onto the bedroom. And things have kind of gotten moved around. Our bed used to be right there. It's now over here. A little messy, don't mind this. Let's start over here. First things first, we have my rabbit's foot Maranta up here, which I just combined another pot of Maranta in with my previous pot, so it looks a lot fuller, looking really good. I really enjoy this Maranta. Marantas are a favorite of mine. Here is the type of snake plant, can't quite remember the name, but it looks really cute in this pot, right? Here is my philodendron micans. You will notice in my first houseplant tour, this same plant was in a different location. I have kind of moved some things around. So if it is one of the plants that I included before, I'll kind of talk about it briefly or skip over it and move on. All right, behind this light, if I can get up in here, I have my Syngonium white butterfly up on this shelf. I have my Scindapsus pictus argyrius. This does really well in my bedroom with just artificial light. Does really well. A type of Dracana up here. I have another propagation of my Ficus elastica taniki going up there. Here we have my philodendron scandens, philodendron heteroraceum, cordatum, however you want to refer to it as, and it's pushing out a new leaf there, you know, shoe stuck in slipper, you know, that kind of thing. Down. And down here, I have, I don't know what this is called. What is this called? It's a type of Tradescantia, I think. It's called the purple heart. My grandfather gave it to me. He always referred to it as Moses in a cradle, so that's what I call it. Over here is a sad calathea. And I don't even remember off the top of my head what this one's called, but I think I'm either gonna chop it all back or get rid of it. I don't know. And some Cebu blue propagations. Do they have roots? Do they? Let's see, I think some of them do. Some rootage going on. Very nice. Those Cebu blue cuttings came from my mother plant over here, which is hanging right above our bed. Easy grower, one of my favorite houseplants. An easier type of epipremnum, easy pothos to care for compared to some of the other varieties. I do struggle with some of the potho varieties. This one, however, is not one of them. I enjoy this plant to the fullest, and I have taken so many cuttings. I just cut it back within the last 2 weeks, and I bet you within at least a month and a half, 2 months, it'll probably be to like down in here, even in the winter season. If we move over to the other corner of my room, here I have some little Scindapsus pictus exotica propagations, some starts that have been planted in soil for about a month and a half now, doing its thing, and no new growth yet, but it is still looking all right. Over here, someone help me and clarify for me. Is this pearls and jade? Is this a pothos and joy? Is it a mixture of both? Because, like, let me look. Pearls and jade, right? But then some of them, pearls and joy, right? I get confused. They're hard to decipher for me, but I really like this plant. I like how it grows. It's a little bit more ornate than your typical pothos or even some of the other more exotic varieties. And I like its growth pattern, actually. Really enjoy this one. Over here, up top, we have a rickrack cactus, zigzag cactus, fishbone cactus, a type of epiphyllum, and it's all right. It's doing its thing. I had it in too low of light for a while. Mistake. They like light. Don't do that. So he's on the mend, but we will get there. And now, from the light I put him in, he does have a little bit of sun stress, which is kind of fun. And the new growth comes in kind of hairy. Over here, I still have what I think is a Hoya Wayedii, Hoya kentiana, not too sure. But he's living here in the east window. And then another Scindapsus pictus exotica. Moving on down, I have this. I moved back in here. This was out in my kitchen. So I don't really need to touch on it, but you probably saw it in last week's video, part 1 of the tour. He needed a different light situation. He is like dying, so let's skip over that. Some pearls and jade propagations, some more propagations of the Moses in a cradle, and then I just picked this up not too long ago. I believe this is a type of Tenanthe. Not sure on the variety. It might be a Calathea, but I think it's a type of Tenanthe. So he's all praying for the night. Okay, let's look at this side. He's got his leaves up, all praying. I bet by the time I am done recording this, these leaves will also be standing straight up. That's how cool these prayer plants are. Really, really enjoy them. Here is a staghorn fern, living its life here, doing its thing. Up back behind this light, I'll try to get a good view for you, is my Marble Queen pothos. This is in the darkest corner in my house, and it still remains very light. I guess you could call this a snow queen. I'm not sure. I always call it Marble Queen, but it's very, very light compared to a lot of Marble Queens. So it could very well be a snow queen, something like that. Here is my Calathea zebrina and an Aglaonema Maria. Down here I have my watermelon begonia, or also, what is it, Paulownia repens? Yeah, Paulownia repens. This one isn't doing that well, but this Paulownia is doing really, really well. Now, I'm sorry about the grow lights here. Maybe I can unplug them. Back here is my Stromanthe Trio Star, growing in, doing her thing. And here is the sad, sad heart leaf fern. I just showed you guys this a couple videos back, I think in my collective haul. And since then, I let it dry out once, and look at that. So now I just have it like sitting in some water. I'm gonna try and keep it that way because it's already dying on me. So here is some Dracaena Florida Beauty, and then down here is an Anthurium superbum, I believe, growing, doing its thing. That is all for the bedroom. Now let me show you the few plants that I have in the bathroom and my daughter's room, and then I'll take you down and show you the greenhouse. I'm gonna make this quick in here because my bathroom echoes and it's dirty. Here is a Boston fern. I cut it all back. All these long gangly things are new growth. I thought I would like it in the bathroom. We're just gonna go with it. It'll be okay. It doesn't look the best, but I am a big advocate for don't give up on your plants unless you know you're really over it. I won't judge you for it, but I always try to bring them back to life at least once before I throw them away. So there it be. Down here I have some more Marble Queen or Snow Queen pothos. Look at that freaking leaf. It grew so weird, but look how pretty that is. So those are propagating there. Now if I flip over, here is one of my, I've had this pothos the longest. It is a golden pothos, but it's since reverted. It needs to be dusted. It lives in the bathroom here. Rarely ever have to water it. It's a lot of good humidity and it lives its best life in here and it likes it. It likes that bright ass light right there. So I'm in my daughter's room and apparently her light bulb died. So I'm gonna make this so quick. Here is some propagations from my goldfish plant, which I no longer have. I sold, so I still have a little bit of it with us and it's in Viv's room. And then I know it's dark as hell. Oh, you can kind of see it. Here is a silver squill. I have it in a little hanging pot in her south-facing window. And I try to put plants in here that don't need a lot of watering because I do tend to forget about them. So she's got her silver squill, her fishies, which it looks dirty, but I had the light on too long and algae built up on, like I just cleaned the water, but I had the light on too long and it grew algae. So not cool. I need to clean it again, but I swear their water's clean. And goldfish plant. All right, folks, last but certainly not least are my two greenhouses. This greenhouse I got last year for Christmas and I put it up this summer and I put it outside and it did awesome. And then this greenhouse over here is from Mars Hydro and it's a lot more high tech, so to say, compared to this Amazon bought greenhouse, but I do have an idea to compare the two. I am starting propagations in both. I have some of the same plants in this one, some of the same plants in this one, and I also want to do a seed start. Now, I'm not going to show you everything inside, but I will give you a little overview. Now, this one is a little bit dingy because it was outside for the whole summer, but it maintains humidity well. I only have to run that humidifier every other day. I can even go longer if I want. And now with my lights, I actually have them on all night and have them off during the day, just because I can maintain them better. I'm here just in case if a grow light falls. I'm home just in case if anything wild happens. And here is a sneak peek into the Mars Hydro tent. Now this one you can tell is a lot brighter. It's got aluminum sides so it reflects the light everywhere. And things are growing pretty good in here as well. So you guys will see that in next week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this houseplant tour. And I hope you make it back for episode 3, the greenhouse tour, because I do have some very cool things in here and some cool things in here. So I would love to share that with you guys. Well, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.